Here's a new segment on The Voice of Boxing, and it is about the news, the talking points around this mad, compelling, unpredictable sport. We love debating, we love a tale, and there's always things happening in boxing 24/7. Trust me, it really is non-stop. The Voice of Boxing in partnership with Loungers TV, the streaming platform. And so much to get through, as always. Over the past few days, the topics, I guess, the boxing news highlighted by the passing of one of the great fighters of all time, the iconic heavyweight, Big George Foreman. I don't even really know where to start. I was a huge fan of his as a fighter, and I got to know him as a man later on, and what a man he was. Winning the Olympic gold medal back in 1968 in Mexico City, dominating and frightening the heavyweight division in the 70s with his huge power, his right hands and those uppercuts too, the way he dismantled and destroyed Joe Frazier down 6 times in 2 unbelievable rounds, world heavyweight champion, and of course, the Rumble in the Jungle. Foreman on the losing end, the rope-a-dope brilliance of Muhammad Ali, who was a huge underdog, of course, Ali coming back against fearsome Big George, but George managed to reflect and laugh about it and look back fondly on what was probably the greatest fight in history. But George had many more things to come in his career. He became a preacher. Foreman, he was preaching on the street corners in Texas, and then took over a church and became a real man of religion and a fantastic man to be around. And then he came back into boxing in later years and incredibly won the world heavyweight title all over again with a right hand that knocked out Michael Moorer, the southpaw, in the 10th round, November 1994. Just an unreal moment, becoming the heavyweight champion all over again at the age of 45. Just an extraordinary achievement. And what about life afterwards? Well, he was the man, wasn't he, with the big smile and the lean, mean, fat grilling machines, George Foreman. We all had one to cook our chicken on. Big George with those adverts, a father, a grandfather, a preacher, a heavyweight legend. And yeah, we will really all miss Big George Foreman, an absolute treasure, an iconic man in the history of our sport. So rest in peace, Big George. I loved time with you. We all did, and we'll remember you as a frightening puncher. 68 knockouts in those 76 victories, and what a lovely, gentle giant, of course, to be around. So from Big George Foreman, who was an Olympic champion in 1968, to the hot topic, of course, about boxing in the Olympics. After Paris, there was a real fear, a genuine worry amongst all of us in the boxing fraternity that our sport, which has such a huge place in the Olympics, would not appear in LA. Lots of controversy, lots of issues, lots of problems, but it's time to thank the great Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, and his team, who've done such a fantastic job. And this week, in the last few days, it was confirmed that boxing will be in LA. In 2028, boxing stays in the Olympic Games. And everybody from Lennox Lewis coming out, the greats of the past, Audley Harrison, of course, who won in Sydney, everybody coming out saying it's just phenomenal and brilliant and right that boxing should be in the Olympics. Every young fighter dreams of winning that gold medal. Katie Taylor even says that of all her achievements, having that Irish anthem and the Irish flag and that gold medal in London 2012 was just so special. Alexander Usyk winning in 2012. AJ, of course. Nicola Adams, a double Olympic champion for Britain. So the Olympics, so important for young fighters globally, male and female, to aspire just to get onto that Olympic stage. And also fantastic if you're turning pro to have a medal, whether it's a gold, a silver, silver, a bronze, or even just to have been all around the Olympic Village and to have that opportunity. It's so important for fighters, and dreams can still come true. It's wonderful news that boxing is still in the Olympics in LA. It's fantastic for our sport at such a great time for professional boxing, and so many people investing and interested in the pro sports. The amateur highlight is to become an Olympic champion, and we're still in it. LA, here we come. Well, there was an upset down under on home territory for Sky Nicholson. Sky, one of our friends of the Voice of Boxing. She did that fantastic podcast when she opened up about her journey, a terrific young lady. But now the former world featherweight champion, stunned by Tiara Brown, who wins that world title away from home, and she just collapsed, and the emotions just pouring out of her, and Sky very respectful afterwards, as we thought would happen, of course, losing her world title and her undefeated record. A split decision. It was very close, but Sky saying she didn't quite perform on the night, and all credit and respect to Tiara. There were a lot of words, needle, heated exchanges in the build-up, but Tiara Brown is the world featherweight champion, and congratulations to her. Down under on away soil, on foreign soil, she did it. It was meant to be a real homecoming for Sky Nicholson, but it was Tiara Brown's time in Australia. So she is now the world featherweight champion, but Sky will be back. We know Sky Nicholson from the Voice of Boxing. Check out her podcast. Really, really interesting story, and it'll be fascinating to see how she comes back, because I'm sure she will. Like, subscribe, The Voice of Boxing, TikTok, YouTube, and of course on Instagram, and in partnership with the streaming platform Loungers TV. So come on, give me your thoughts.